Captain Mark Noble's Outdoor Journal. Hey, today we're going to do a little bit of trout fishing, but look here, we're right here at the bottom end of the tide. We're down here at Cumberland Island. I think if we stay in here a minute or two, we might catch a flounder or two before we go out here and try the beach, but we're also going to try to catch some trout way back up here in the inlets around the shell beds and the mud banks and the grass flats. So what we're going to do, try to catch a flounder right now, move out here to the beach, try that, and then move on inland to see if we can get some trout. Hey, it's spawning time for these speckled trout right down here on the coast of Georgia. The month right now is June. Hey, the bait's everywhere. We're going to try to do some trout fishing today with the Thunder Chicken popping cork and also try a few artificial baits. So y'all want to stay tuned. Speckled trout fishing right down here in southeast Georgia. There we go. There we go. I better get in that for that. That's a flounder. That's a flounder. Basically what we're doing right here, y'all, is we're just fishing a bottom rig. Look at there. He got it right by the boat. A bottom rig with a live shrimp on it. And that's a flounder right there. Straight down. There we go, y'all. Oh, there you have it. Old flatfish. Kind of hard to hold that rascal. But you can see right there, there's both his eyes on that side. Of course, he lays on the bottom just like this. And then when the bait comes across, he just turns up and gets it. And basically what we're doing is one of the techniques that we use, we fish right on the bottom. And we'll actually just slide that bait right across the bottom and work it all the way back to your boat. And usually if there's a fish laying down there, he'll jump right there and get it. Flounder. Well, everyone, right there you've seen a flounder on the bottom. And now a lot of people, you know, they don't really go out and target flounder. But hey, if you're down here on the coast of Georgia and you want to target flounder, really anywhere you fish in the salt water for flounder, look, this is a great simple rig to use. It's a slip rig. Basically, we got a little egg sinker right here. And this egg sinker is just on the line, and it allows the line to slide through it. So if the sinker gets hung up a little bit, the fish can still pull the line through the sinker, and you can feel the bite. It's real sensitive. And now I always use a bead right here, right below that sinker. Now that bead there I use to protect the knot, but also it'll make a little bit of noise when I bump it on the bottom a little bit and help create a little bit of extra attention for the fish to look that direction. And look at the size of that swivel. That's only a 30-pound test swivel, y'all. Now most people I've seen over the years, they want to use great big old swivels, and there's no need to. We're fishing 10-pound test line, a 30-pound swivel. Remember, egg sinker, bead, swivel, and then I got probably about 13 or 14 inches of 20-pound test fluorocarbon leader, and it's tied, look at here, y'all, right down to that number 4 Kale hook. That bait right there is made for live bait, and it'll hold the fish real good. For flounder fishing, hey, this rig right here is awesome. We'll also catch speckled trout on them too. But remember, throw it out there, let it roll around the tide, drag it real slow, and hey, when you felt the low bump, bump, wait just a minute, reel down, pull back, and hey, you might have you a nice flounder. That's one of them XPS baits right there. Let's try it out right there and see if we can get a bite on it. Well, there he is. Now, I'm gonna say I got him on there, but now I've been saying that for the last 8 or 10 casts. So I'm just gonna say that I threw out there, got a bite, and supposedly got something on. We'll just wait and see if it turns out to be a fish here. Yeah, look at there. Old speckled trout right there, y'all. If he'll just settle in there just a little bit. There we go. Old speckled trout right here on the beach. Of course, you can see right there it is. The Thunder Chicken popping cork right here on the beach. Live shrimp. And we've been fishing some artificial bait this morning. But I can tell you, they've been giving me a run for their money. I mean, getting a bite pretty much on every cast, but keeping them hooked up, well, that's just been another story today. But that right there is probably about a 13 1/4 inch fish. I mean, that fish is big enough to keep right there. but I believe we got some bigger fish out there. We'll put him back in here and we'll keep on fishing down this beach as the tide comes in today, and we'll see if we can't get a few more fish caught. Ooh, 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 right there, right there, right there. Mr. Trout, I mean, back it up, baby. Well, there's definitely a big old wad of fish right here on the beach. You know, a lot of people aren't used to fishing for trout on the beach. But if you'll fish it wisely and move up and down the beach until you find the zone the fish are in, many times you'll come out of here with a pretty good mess of fish, especially during the spawning season for trout. We'll start seeing them moving up on the beach around April, mid to late April, May, June, and even into July, you'll find these speckled trout on the beach. But you also get a mixture of other fish like jack crevalle, ladyfish, bluefish, Spanish mackerel, hey, even perhaps a tarpon. This fish right here is a little nicer. Let's see what we got here. Easy, easy. There we go. There is another trout right there, y'all. That is what we had come for. A little nicer sized fish. You're probably looking at about a 16-inch trout. But right there goes to show you, you know, once you locate these fish on the beach, you know, you can get one bite after another. And this right here, hey, this is some pretty fun stuff. You know, of course, today we're fishing a Spectre fiber line. This is the Madger braid that's a Bass Pro Shops product that I'm fishing with today because it floats. And when we're throwing these popping corks, a floating line, hey, it's awful important. But that trout right there is all right. I don't care where you go. He'll do just fine. There he is right there, right on top of that wave. Right on top of that wave he was. Now that fish right there hit that XPS bait. And I switched over more to a pearl color bait right here. And I shortened my leader up a little bit. It's probably about 4 feet deep right there where them fish are. But I got about a 2.5 foot leader on there because you got to understand, trout aren't necessarily this time of the year right on the bottom. They'll actually want to take a suspended bait sometimes more so than a bait that's on the bottom. So we'll see just what size fish this is. But you know, people ask me all the time how we fish these artificial baits, and well, you're getting ready to see it firsthand right here. Right there it is. Well, there's the bait, the trout's on the floor. But that's what I'm fishing right there. That is a XPS bait right there. That's a Bass Pro Shops bait. Now they just came out with these right here, and there's a weight right here in the middle of them, and the hook's already pre-rigged in them, and it's a great bait. Let me pick up this trout right here just so you can see what we just caught. All right, and that right there is what just happened, y'all, on the artificial bait right there. Trout and an XPS shrimp imitation right there. That right there will get the job done. Slow and pull back when you get a bite. Many times you can get a second and third bite on that same cast. And I'm hoping right here, I've had 2 bites right there in a row, and I might still work a bite out of that just yet. We'll see. But that's one good thing about it. That artificial bait will stay on there, baby. There he is right there. And I got him. That paid off. Right there. Remember, when your cork goes down, reel down to your cork. And when you feel the weight of the fish on the rod, actually what we call is the rod loading up with the weight of the fish, then just pull back. Spectre fiber line doesn't stretch. So if you jerk real hard, many times you're going to jerk the bait right out of the fish's mouth. But look here, fishing it nice and slow and easy, that fish was able to come back and get it again. Looky there, another trout. And here's the whole combination, guys. We're fishing about a 2 3/4 to a 3 foot leader right here on the Thunder Chicken popping cork. And you can see the evidence right there. That's that XPS bait sold out of Bass Pro Shops right there in that trout's mouth. So when you want to fish artificial bait, think about this as a presentation. Hey, this will work pretty doggone good. And some days when you go fishing, you don't even have to tote any live bait with you. This will give you that chance to do so. But right there it is, y'all. For all y'all that's been calling and whatnot, asking how we're doing it, well, right here it is today. Artificial baits on a popping cork. Oh, there he was right there. Oh, he came back and got it again. That's when that not jerking hard pays off the best right there. Well, look here, y'all. If you ever plan on coming out here and fishing the beach, you'll want to take your tackle into consideration, especially what you're fishing with, because you need to make long, accurate casts, and you need to have a rod that's limber enough to fish these baits in this non-stretch line where you won't pull the hook out of every fish you hook up. And right there is another trout on the XPS. And that's just a good average size fish. Just to let y'all know what I'm fishing with right here as far as tackle is concerned. This right here is an inshore extreme rod, and it's 8 foot long. Now it's rated for up to around 17-pound test line, but it's rated for as low as 8-pound test line. An 8-foot rod with that type tip on it has a lot of good action, and it's soft enough to have a little bend in it when you hook these fish right here, because remember, if your line doesn't stretch, you need a rod that's going to work well for you. Now I'm fishing that Pro Qualifier reel, the 4000 from Bass Pro Shops as well. Actually, as a matter of fact, the boat we're in today, a 22-foot Mako, this is one the new bay boat that they have up there at Tracker Marine. This is a great platform. So really, if you want to come out here and fish for these trout on the beach, or really anywhere you want to go, well, I know the women folk out there, if you don't like your husband spending a lot of money, they won't want to hear this right here, but you can go to Bass Pro Shops to get everything you need. XPS bait, hey, the Thunder Chicken popping cork, they sell it there too. The 8-foot inshore extreme rod, as well as the Pro Qualifier reel. Hey, go up there, pick up what you need, and come on down here and get on some of these trout. Ooh, there he is right there, right on the pop. I mean, right on the pop. He grabbed that thing and growled. Oh, yeah. I think that was just a little bit too sweet for him right there. Yes, sir. That was just a little bit too sweet for the old boy. Well, right now we can also see some bait coming up and down the edge of the bank. It looks like there's some glass minnows and some menhaden, or what we call pogies, that's coming along the edge of the bank, and looks like these trout are traveling right there with them. But again, there it is. And I tell you, I was really surprised on how many people was actually asking me, you know, what kind of bait are we fishing on these popping corks to catch these trout? And this is artificial bait. I mean, even in tournaments that you fish artificial bait in, this is a legal presentation. But I can tell you one thing, speckled trout have no problem with it whatsoever. Anything you put underneath that Thunder Chicken popping cork, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna work and it's gonna let you catch fish when you can't catch them any other way. And if you're really paying attention, I'm probably making an average of a 45-yard cast every time I'm throwing. You know, many people ask me, you know, Mark, how in the world can you throw these corks that far? Well, if you got the right kind of tackle and the right kind of cork that's made to throw, you can make these long casts. And the further you can cast, the longer you have the opportunity to present the bait to the fish. And it'll make a big difference on what you can catch by the end of the day. I mean, the fish hit it as soon as it hit the water, and I missed him, and I just stopped and popped it twice, and then this fish came in there and hit it. He doesn't feel like he's all that big, but that just goes to show you, keep your wits about you and don't jerk real hard. And there comes another fish right there, right off the backside of the cast. He's just a little guy, but he still didn't have any problem eating that bait. Wow. Go on back there, fella. Put it right back in there again. Oh yeah, the bite's on. There he is, there he is. Oh, and that was the third bite right there. Now when the cork's hitting the water many times, y'all, I'm gonna pop that cork. Now, a lot of people don't really think that snatching on that line will make a big difference, but when you got a cork that's made to attract fish, hey, you pop that Thunder Chicken and it makes that click with that artificial bait below it, the bait will come up and then sink back down, and right then is when the fish comes in there and hits it. And right here, once again, I mean, I missed the fish right off the bat, popped it, let it fall back down there, popped it again, and there he was. Came right back in there and ate it up. It just got too good for him. Oh my, this ought to be a shame. Another speckled trout. Another speckled trout on the XPS. Well, he kind of popped off the hook there for that I don't want to be on TV moment. But there it is again, y'all. Another trout on the XPS. Oh, yeah. There we go. A little off on the other side of the boat there. I believe the old boy grabbed it and growled right there. He just can't. No, he didn't. He's still on there. I thought he came off. I thought it came off, but there he is. Little old bitty trout. He's not much to look at, but he is the right kind. But basically what we've done is we started out fishing in the creek this morning over there at Christmas Creek. Went in there to fish for a little while to catch some flounder. Well, we got a flounder caught, and we didn't give it much time because we knew the fish were out there on the beach. So we slid out there to the beach and got on the front side, and of course, well, y'all have just seen what we've been doing out there on the beach. But we wanted to come back in here into the sound area itself and show you that this time of the year, there's fish, hey, they're just all over the place. And if you move around a little bit, you'll catch plenty. But many times, hey, you don't have to move all day long. But we're back here in St. Simon Sound right now, and we're gonna fish a little bit more and see if we can show you some fish back up here in the sound itself, right here around the grass flats and the shell bars. There he is, right there, right there. Another little old buck trout. A little old male trout. Well, one thing we've seen is there's definitely a bunch of small fish right here in this area. You'd think there'd be one of them big females. We'll give another shot, and you know, anytime you're in here fishing and you run into a lot of these small trout, many times as the tide rises, the actual size of the fish will change because the male trout may move on down the bank and then the big trout will move in. So, you know, don't give up on it right away, but if you're just catching like 20, 30, 40, or 50 of them, I mean, just every cast, you might want to move. But right now we're seeing a mix in the fish right here in this area, and primarily they're small fish, but we still see bait working at the bank, but we got plenty places right here to fish. So we'll just kind of, you know, keep visual right here, look for the bait moving down the bank, and try to get one of these big spawning females right here. I think we ought to. There's a lot of bait coming right by that shell bar right beside us right now. Oh, Mr. Trout. And that's probably about a 12-inch fish. But he didn't take long to grab that bait. Matter of fact, there's some glass minnows right here against this shell bar. And I believe that he's probably not by himself. And maybe there's one even over there bigger than that. Come on there, Mr. Trout. Boy, this sound is just loaded with this size trout right now. Just loaded with them. He might not be all that much, but it is a trout. Oh, a ladyfish. Easy, easy, easy. Oh. You can hear that noise that cork makes right there, but that's a ladyfish, everybody. And these things right here are real acrobats. Some people call that a poor man's tarpon. Right off that shell ball. Oh, come on, stay on there, baby. Stay on there. I mean, just hit the water, first pop, and that rascal I don't know what it is, but he's got some weight to him. He came in there and just hammered that thunder chicken. And he's got some weight to him. You surely don't think we done got invaded by the sharks, do you? Well, if we did, that's okay too, because I'm still catching fish. Let's see here what we got. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Go, son, go. Go, go, go. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on back around. I think he's gonna make me run around the boat after him. And you can see right here, the island just right out here in the front of us, that's St. Simon's Island. And we're just right back here in the sound right now. The marina, it's just right over there. We're not even about a mile away from the marina right now. But there's just so many places you can come down here to fish. And when you go to fish in the salt water, take advantage of all the opportunities you got. And enjoy everything that you get a chance to catch. But you know, one thing you can feel assured of is you're sometime throughout the day going to get some fish that's going to pull real good. So always have your drag set. Hey, fishing isn't all about how many you can throw in the cooler. It's about how good of a time you can have, even with your youngins. And that fish right there he's not going to stop. That's what it is. It's a shark. I couldn't tell what kind just then, but I saw the thunder chicken come up top of the water. I know I was close, and he don't want to come any closer to the boat than that. Old bonnet head. This one's got a little bit more weight to him. Well, I come in here to try to catch a trout, and look what happens. Old Mr. Bonnet Head comes in. And there's a few pounds of fish right there. Easy, easy, easy. Easy, 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 easy. Well, that's pretty neat stuff. It looks like that wind's starting to pick up on us pretty good. It's okay. It's okay. There you have it, y'all. That is him. Well, it's not a speckled trout, but it's a fish nonetheless.